I love the ModRetro Chromatic. I own a couple of them. It's a FPGA Game Boy Color clone console that is beyond premium, in my opinion. Everything they've done with it. You could still get one from GameStop, their exclusive version. I think it's slick if you really like Game Boy and Game Boy Color. But more importantly, ModRetro has been releasing physical games. They have 2 series of games that they've been releasing. New games, like from indie developers and whatnot, and then their ModRetro Classics Collection games that are re-released classic games that came out back on the Game Boy and Game Boy Color that, for whatever reason, either new publishers own them or the original publisher, whatever reason. But these games are getting a new lease on life. Like Toki Tori previously, the Ultimate Edition, which actually had some new stuff added to it. That game got re-released, but it was the Ultimate Edition, so that was pretty cool. But now we have a couple new classic, games that they're re-releasing that just came out. I purchased them, Project S-11 and Baby T-Rex. They had a couple more games that were supposed to release along with these that I'm really looking forward to, which is Chanty and Hermano. In their email, their update, they did say those are going to be releasing later in March. So if you pre-ordered them or you are pre-ordering them, buying them, whatever, they'll be coming out later this month. All this stuff is playable on original hardware, Game Boy, Game Boy Color, or, Analog Pocket, or if you have a Chromatic, Game Boy player, so on and so forth. You don't have to have the ModRetro Chromatic to play these things. But I just wanted to unbox them, give you guys my review of these 2 games. So Baby T-Rex, we'll talk about that one first. So what I like about these physical releases, come in a nice little box, but Baby T-Rex, it's a Game Boy game, originally released in 1994. It's a platformer action game. It is a 2-player game if you so choose. There's 16 levels. This version of the game is, I guess, Pico. They have the rights to it, so they're re-releasing it under their Bleem name with ModRetro. So Bleem, Pico, ModRetro, they re-released this version of it. The game can be completed in about an hour. Now, what I really find interesting with this game is that there's multiple versions of it. They all had different story elements, and the main character that you played as was different, and the graphics were different for the character. So this version is the European version. So Europe got Baby T-Rex. And then there was an Australian version that got a game called Agro Soar, or Soar, something like that. It was some kind of puppet character that was popular in, I guess, like the late 80s, 90s on Australian TV. Like there's like a cartoon show that it hosted and a bunch of other stuff. There was even a dating show. It did like adult stuff and kid stuff. And when you look at this puppet looking creature, it was obviously a ripoff of Animal from the Muppets. And it actually, from what I read, it was, repurposed from an Animal Muppets toy from like the 70s or something. And then there was a version from Sweden, Bamsey, who's supposed to be the world's strongest bear. Like he drank some kind of freaking hopped up honey or something. I don't know, but he looks like a little bitch. He don't look like the world's strongest bear. I don't know, but they changed all the characters for these games. But then in the US, this game may look familiar. We got the game We're Back, a Dinosaur Story, which I guess it's a movie, so it's a movie licensed game. I never seen that movie, but yeah, there you go. There's a bunch of different versions of this game. I played through Baby T-Rex, this version. I never played any of these other versions before. So I actually kind of enjoyed it. It was not a bad game at all. I had some fun with it. It was a little challenging. It wasn't an easy, breezy game. It's not crazy long. I mean, it's 16 levels. The levels aren't like long at all. I mean, they're fairly short stages, but they are kind of challenging at certain points. Most of the bosses are easy, though, to be honest with you. But there is a little challenge in some of the stages. So there's that. This game, up on the ModRetro.com website for $34.99. I know the previous games that they released were sold at GameStop as well. I don't know if these ones are going to be. I haven't seen them on their website yet, but maybe worth checking. Now, the next one, Project S-11, This game's a Game Boy Color game that came out back in 2001. It's a shoot 'em up, one player. It's got 8 levels. It's put out by Paragon 5. The game takes less than an hour to beat if you're good at it. It's also a little bit challenging. But the interesting thing with these games, I like talking about the interesting thing in history about them. And this one's got something kind of cool too, or intriguing, I guess. But back in 2000, a year before the game released, Paragon 5 and the original publisher, Sunsoft, they ran a contest to name the game. So you could get your name in the credits and you could win $200. Like, that's it. What kind of contest is that? I guess it's to be down in history, have your name in a game forever. No, the way you had to go about it was you just had to email them your idea for a title, but the title had to have the word project in it. It had to start with project. So come up with anything, Project Balls. I don't know. But I guess Project S-11 is the one that won. I've seen articles saying that they're like Project S-11 was the placeholder, but if you beat the game, it shows there was a contest winner. So obviously somebody submitted S-11 as the title and they went with it. And the contest winner's name is Chris Robertson. Like, who else? Like, I mean, they came up with that name. Hey, I emailed you S-11 and they won, I guess. That's the way it seems. So why else would there be a contest winner in the credits? In the original release and in this re-release, the credits are still there. I mean, 24 years later, he's getting a little more, celebrity status with this game release, little credit for naming it. So, I mean, I guess that's kind of cool. But okay, there you go. I love these physical, releases from ModRetro. I think it's sweet that they're doing stuff like this. And all these games too, I didn't mention it. They all come with a little charm, a little charm that you could pop onto your little, Chromatic. Like the S-11, Project S-11 comes with a little ship. And then, Baby T-Rex comes with a little T-Rex. I think the charms are, they're cool. You can add it to your Chromatic if you want. It is what it is, but yeah, there you go. So price-wise, this one, Project S-11's $44.99. It's one of the more expensive games for whatever reason, but it was a fun one, actually. This game, man, it was a little bit of a challenge playing through it. Like, I did beat it. I played it. I played the crap out of it on my Chromatic, and then my thumb, man, I was getting that Nintendo thumb, dude. I had to switch over to the Analog Pocket after a while just to get a different feel. Yeah, and I wound up beating it eventually, but it was a challenging game. And there's a lot of different weapons you can collect in the game, different strategies, save your bombs for the bosses. Some of the bosses are just ridiculous, especially at the end of the game. Boss just like gets on your ass because you have a health bar. It's not like you just get hit once and you die. But some of the bosses are just relentless, like hovering over you, just ripping you apart, taking away your health. So yeah, it's a fun game, a little bit of a challenge. Both of these games are pretty cool. So check them out. Really do appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.